Welcome to Edinboro Television. I'm Jordan Thomas.
And I'm Brandon Montgomery, and this is your weekly news update.
On Monday, the Borough Council held a town hall meeting and ETV's Drew Patrick wasn't in attendance.
The Edinboro Borough Council met Monday, September 14th, to hear public concerns over a new ordinance that will require all off-campus renters to provide phone numbers and license plate numbers to the borough. Collecting that information would be the responsibility of landlords. Many landlords and residents voiced concerns about lack of communication with the borough with regards to what they can and can't do at their property. Other concerns included invasion of privacy and lost income.
But due to all this craziness and not knowing who's in charge and what the real rules are that I hear from friends that do rent, I'm not investing my money in Edinboro. It's going elsewhere. And that's that.
Borough Council responded that this would not affect landlords and would give more opportunity to contact renters directly. Council Solicitor Timothy Wachter stated the borough is unaware of any law prohibiting the collection of this information.
With respect to the driver's licenses, I keep calling it that, the plate numbers and the cell phones, there is nothing that I'm aware of, and I've looked, that states it is prohibited for the borough to collect that information for any reason.
Borough Council is still considering this ordinance. No decision was made at Monday's meeting. Council left open the possibility of additional public comment at future meetings. For ETV, I'm Drew Patrick.
The alleged suspect in connection with the Edinboro shooting on March 20th, 2015 has been permitted to attend Clarion University while awaiting his trial. According to ExploreClarion.com, court documents from the Court of Common Pleas of Erie County show that the bail for 21-year-old Devin Stevenson had been modified on September 8th. Stevenson will be able to reside in a Clarion County residence as long as he remains enrolled at the university. Clarion University officials are not releasing a press statement at this time, but the Director of Marketing and Communications say that he is surprised of the student's history. Stevenson is accused of shooting 2 victims in an off-campus house on Meadville Street and is facing a long list of charges including 2 counts of criminal homicide, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and simple assault. Stevenson told police that he fired in self-defense. The condition of the victim is unknown.
Thursday marked RANN Day. Members of the Gehring Health Center as well as leaders from the Wellness Peers attended a candlelight vigil for victims of sexual violence. RAIN, or Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, is the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization. RAIN uses the community to extend awareness of sexual assault to students on campus as well as individuals in the community. Amanda Ferguson explains how important it is to be aware of the issue and what students should do when they encounter a situation.
And then to find ways to help prevent it. Whether it's by stepping in when they see a situation happening. Try to report it if the victim is willing. It's all about the victim. So you want to help them as much as possible. Try to get them resources that will help them.
Bright lights, funnel cakes, rides, carnival games, animal exhibits, the annual Albion Area Fair had it all last week, when it kicked off its 71st year at last Monday. Just as every year, the fair had a wide variety of livestock exhibits, food vendors, midway games and rides, art exhibits, and exciting events that took place throughout the week. Livestock, baked goods, and art entries were judged throughout this week. Numerous local contestants receiving awards for their hard work. The fair also had a wide variety of events that took place throughout the week, such as the truck pulls, various horse shows, and the livestock parade. However, the fair's main event was the annual Fair Queen and Junior Miss contest, which was held on Tuesday. There was a total of 7 contestants competing in the pageant, but in the end, Erica Smith was crowned the 2015 Albion Area Fair Queen, and Paige Ward was crowned the 2015 Junior Miss Albion Area Fair Queen. The 71st Albion Area Fair wrapped up on Saturday with the Crook Creek Brothers closing out on the grandstand stage. For more information on the annual Albion Area Fair, or to view pictures from this year's Albion Fair, visit albionfair.com.
Fair. Everybody comes here and it's real social. The people are really friendly, and it's been a great fair for me to be here.
On Wednesday, September 16th, listeners got a chance to listen to well-known photographer Chris Casella about his work through the camera lens. Casella has worked with famous individuals from all over, such as Stevie D of Buckcherry, Shani Toy Guns, and Josh Krajicek. He has also been featured in numerous magazines known as XXL Decibel, Guitar World, Revolver Spin, Total Guitar, Metal Hammer. To keep up with Chris Casella's photographer, visit his website at chriscasella.com.
Edinboro Study Abroad Abroad 101 program is designed to help students who desire to study abroad be better prepared for their experience that lie ahead of them. On Wednesday, September 16th, students gathered in the International Student Services Center on the third floor of Reader Hall to learn about the process of studying overseas from qualified faculty and staff like EU Study Abroad advisor Linda Neitlinger.
Study abroad to expand not only their personal world, but also to enhance their education. It will allow them to be more marketable. When someone's looking at their resume and sees that a student has experienced another culture, it may give them the opportunity to be selected for an interview, and it changes their world. You know, when a student studies abroad, they come back here, they're never the same, and they get hungry and they want to see more of the world and grow as an individual.
The Study Abroad program still has 4 sessions remaining this semester on October 1st and 14th and November 5th and 16th.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter is flying back onto Edinboro University's campus. Brady West sat down with the headmaster of the festival, Professor Corbin Fowler, as he talks about what's in store for this year's Potterfest.
This year I wanted to reach out and have the educators do something, and the early childhood and reading department was quite eager to do this, so that's something new. And then Goodell Gardens has been a sponsor from the first year, but they haven't been able to actually do anything with us now for the last several years because it was held too late in the year. So this year I've moved it up 3 weeks so we have warmer, drier weather, hopefully. And so we have the Real Magic Steve performing, and he is absolutely wonderful. He's an area guy, he's an alumnus here, English literature, and he's a great entertainer, and he's especially good with kids, and he does wonderful things with balloons. So he's going to entertain at Goodell Gardens this week, and then we have the herbology tour. I mean, Goodell Gardens is all about herbs and plants. So Tracy is going to conduct a tour over there so that they can make a connection between the herbology that's talked about in the books and the movies and what's really going on in the real world, where all of our prescription drugs from plants and herbs synthesized and messed with in various ways. So important. Well, there's a connection between the world of magic and the real world.
To see the full interview, go to edinboronow.com.
Coming up in our national news, we see how a teenager who was arrested for creating a homemade clock is now gaining recognition from the Massachusetts Institute for Technology. Keep watching.
From being in the media spotlight since last Monday to being recognized by MIT, a teenage boy did not think his dreams could come true like this. According to the Huffington Post, 14-year-old Ahmed Mohammed was arrested last Monday at his high school in Texas after he brought a homemade clock to impress his teachers into school. Administrators questioned Mohammed about the device and asked if he had tried to make a bomb. After being released to his parents, the teenager was invited to an interview with Chris Hayes, where surprise guest MIT astrophysicist Shonda Prescott-Weiss congratulated Mohammed on his work and said he was exactly the kind of kid that we would want at MIT and Harvard. The teenager has been given extended invitations to visit President Obama at the White House.
Good evening, Edinboro University, and welcome to your weekly political update. I'm Sarah Gillingham. Things not getting any easier for Hillary Clinton in the recent weeks as details of her personal email server continue to haunt her campaign. You may recall earlier this year, Secretary Clinton found herself in the middle of a media firestorm after it was discovered that she was using her personal email and email server as opposed to one secured by the government in order to conduct government business. Critics argue this could result in possible threats to national security. The email scandal, coupled with declining popularity within the Democratic Party, have contributed to an overall drop in poll numbers nationwide. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders continues to gain momentum and popularity as he too seeks the Democratic Party's nomination for the 2016 presidential election. Sanders told CNN's Wolf Blitzer that even he is, quote, stunned by his recent climb in the polls, where he now leads Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. In addition, CNN reported Friday that Sanders now has the backing of celebrities including Will Ferrell, the band The Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak. Switching gears now, it was a big week for Republican presidential hopefuls as the second round of debates, hosted by CNN, took place last Wednesday night. The debate offered many hits and misses amongst the nominees, with relative unknown Carly Fiorina coming away as the clear standout of the night. Fiorina earned recognition for both her appeal to defund Planned Parenthood, as well as her response to comments about her physical appearance made by running mate Donald Trump earlier this month in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine.
You about this. In an interview last week in Rolling Stone magazine, Donald Trump said the following about you, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?" Mr. Trump later said he was talking about your persona, not your appearance. Please feel free to respond what you think about his persona.
You know, it's interesting to me. Mr. Trump said that he heard Mr. Bush very clearly and what Mr. Bush said. I think women all over this country heard very clearly what Mr. Trump said.
I think she's got a beautiful face, and I think she's a beautiful woman.
Despite her strong debate performance, Dr. Ben Carson and Donald Trump still remain the current frontrunners of the Republican nominees, with Carson leading Trump in the polls by 2 points. Speaking of Donald Trump, the 2016 presidential hopeful finding himself in hot water again towards the end of last week. Fox News Insider reports that Trump caught heat Friday morning following a town hall meeting in Rochester, New Hampshire, for not challenging or correcting an audience member who referred to President Barack Obama as a Muslim and saying that he's not an American. You may recall back in 2011, Trump himself emerged as a leader of the birther movement that challenged Obama on where he was born, even asking the president to release a copy of his birth certificate. As for the incident that took place on Friday, Trump's campaign manager contends that the candidate didn't hear the comments from the audience member.
Okay, this man, I like this guy.
From White Plains. Amen. Okay. We have a problem in this country. It's called Muslims. We know our current president is one.
Right.
You know he's not even an American.
We need this
birth
question.
certificates,
This
man.
question.
But anyway, we have training camps growing where they want to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
That's my question. When can we get rid of
We're
it?
going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things.
And just a heads up for the viewers out there, be sure to mark your calendars for the first of the Democratic presidential debates, which will take place on October 13th, 2015, and will be hosted by CNN's Anderson Cooper. And finally, tonight we have the latest poll numbers for the top 5 candidates in each party via RealClearPolitics.com. According to the Michigan Republican primary poll released on Thursday, September 17th, Dr. Ben Carson is currently leading the Republican presidential nominees with 24 points, followed closely by Donald Trump with 22 points, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush with 8 points, and former Governor of Arkansas Mike Huckabee with 6 points, and finally Florida Senator Marco Rubio with 4 points. Switching gears to the Democratic nominees, according to a CBS News New York Times poll released Tuesday, September 15th, Secretary Hillary Clinton is currently leading the Democratic presidential nominees with 47 points, followed by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders with 27 points. Vice President Joe Biden, who has yet to officially announce his candidacy, is currently in third place with 15 points. And finally, former Virginia Senator Jim Webb and former Governor of Rhode Island Lincoln Chafee are tied with 1 point. All we have for you tonight, covering the right and the left, down the middle, this is Sarah Gillingham. I hope you all have a wonderful night.
What's going on, Edinboro? My name is Caleb Purchison III, and this is your Fighting Scots weather report. As you see here, we have our low and high pressure systems. The low pressure system is more of a warm, dry air and our high pressure system was more of a wet and cold, dry air as well. In the Edinboro, Pennsylvania region, up here we have our more of a high pressure system, which is a mass of cool, wet air pretty much, and our low pressure systems is going to be more down south in Florida and Georgia, that type of area down there. So that's where we're looking at as far as our high and low pressure systems. So what I want to take a look at next is our 5-day forecast. So if we will pull that up on the screen here, I will show you. We have on Tuesday we have 73 degrees with a low of 52. Southeast winds coming around 6 miles an hour, becoming calm in the afternoon. Leading into tonight, we have mostly clear with a low around 52 with the 6 mile an hour winds. Leading into tomorrow night, hump day, that was for my buddy Dorian. We all know that was his catchphrase. Wednesday, we have a sunny with near 75 with 75 mile an hour winds. Leading into the night on Wednesday, mostly clear with a low around 53 miles, with a low around 53 degrees. North wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming more calm in the evening. And Thursday, we have sunny with a high near of 77 degrees. In the night, we have a low of 55. Friday, we have a sunny with a high near 75 degrees. Friday night, we have partly cloudy with a low around 56. Saturday, sunny with a high near 75 with calm winds. And that was it for our Fighting Scots weather report. I'm about to pass the mic over to my friend Tyler Trumbauer for the Fighting Scots sports report.
Welcome to this week's Fighting Scots Sports Report. I am Tyler Trumbauer. The women's volleyball team is off to a tremendous start this season, and the ladies continued it this past weekend. Edinboro went undefeated at the Hammermill Center in Erie as they earned victories over West Virginia State, Concord, and Ursuline. The Fighting Scots improved to 9-1 this season with the trio of victories. It's the best start for the ladies since '08. The Scots have their first single match of 2015 on Wednesday at Notre Dame of Ohio, and then compete in the PSAC crossover this Friday and Saturday, which is hosted by Mercyhurst. Edinboro's women's soccer team is experiencing success thus far this season and is ranked nationally in the polls. The squad had 2 games on the road this past week. The Scots defeated Seton Hill 7-3 on Tuesday evening as Jansen Hartman, who is the PSAC Athlete of the Week, netted a hat trick. On Saturday, non-conference foe Roberts Wesleyan got the best of Borough 4-3. Roberts Wesleyan led 3-0, but the Scots tied it up at 3, all before Bella Matrevsky. Remember her from last year's matchup between the two? She scored the game winner a year ago in double overtime, and she scored the game-winning goal in the 85th minute of this match as well. Some call her the Fighting Scot Killer. The ladies are now 4-2 on the season overall. Head coach Gary Kagiavis and company visit Cal University of Pennsylvania on Wednesday before coming home for a pair of games. One this Saturday at 5 p.m. against Lock Haven, and on September 29th against Pitt Johnstown, which can be heard on WFSC 88.9 or seen live right here on ETV. The football team hit the road for the first time this season as the Scots were still searching for their first win of its 2015 campaign. The Fighting Scots are still left searching for their first win as East Stroudsburg did whatever they wanted on Saturday afternoon as they defeated Edinboro 56-12. ESU quarterback Matt Soltesz went 21 for 32 through the air, passing for 438 yards and 5 touchdowns. Borough receiver Darren Massey was held to only 2 catches on the day. He had 3 touchdowns in their matchup a year ago. The team returns to Sox Harrison Stadium this Saturday as PSAC West divisional play opens up, meaning these games count towards conference records, with the California University of Pennsylvania Vulcans coming to the Borough. That game is slated for a noon kickoff and can be heard live on WFSC 88.9 or seen right here on ETV. Borough's cross-country teams were back in action on Friday at Michigan State in the Spartan Invitational. Freshman Ida Narboval was the first Fighting Scot to cross the finish line in the women's race. Also, she was the 3rd Division II runner in the race to finish, as she finished 7th overall. In the men's race, Elliot Martinkevich was the first Borough runner to finish, as he finished 45th. The squads return to action on October 3rd in the Greater Louisville Classic. Then, quick note on the tennis teams. The women's team competed in the USTA ITA Regional this past weekend. Julia Hellstern was the top finisher for the Scots, making it to the round of 16. That's all we have for this week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at ETV Sports to stay up to date on all the latest borough athletic happenings.
Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Do It Your Selfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old pile of t-shirts.
It's not garbage, it's actually a new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
Harley Bolt was a sophomore here at Edinboro University in spring of 2015. Shortly after spring session ended, she was diagnosed with leukemia, and 36 hours later after she was diagnosed, Harley passed away from the illness. Come celebrate Harley and raise awareness for others at Sox Harrison Stadium. Due to a time conflict, Harley's walk will not be this Saturday, but will be occurring on a different date in October. Look out for flyers and more announcement around campus on the third event.
That's all we have for news this week. Make sure to go to edinboronow.com for all things Edinboro. Have a great night.